I saw the Borderlands movie and it's even worse than you think it is. And I didn't think that was possible after hearing 2 seconds of Jack Black as Claptrap, because we went from this—
it's only because my programmers made this my default tone of voice. I'm actually quite depressed.
—to this.
Oh, hey there, it's Lilith. I'm the leader and stuff.
The movie had a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes for a while, at least until Grace Randolph got the chance to see it.
And then when could Mario turn into a cat? I guess like if you're into furries, that works. And maybe that'll play really well in Asian markets. I know they love cats over there, like love cats. But I just felt it robbed Mario of a lot of his personal dignity.
And now it's up to 10%, which I think backs up my point that maybe not all of us are qualified enough to vote. I played Borderlands 1 and 2 back in the day, and it was never my personal favorite franchise because that endless cycle of kill bad guys, get a new and better gun so you can go kill harder bad guys that give you a bigger and badder gun, that whole thing is just not appealing to me. And the story was nothing mind-blowing or anything like that, but the games had style, both in terms of a cel-shaded world you got to shoot around in, along with the pretty funny dialogue and characters that you got to interact with in both games. And even though Borderlands would have never been my first choice for a game to movie adaptation, it feels like one that would be pretty easy to turn into a great blockbuster, as long as it was animated and written by somebody with an ounce of talent. But this movie wasn't animated, and it originally was written by Craig Mazin, the guy who did Chernobyl and The Last of Us show. But Eli Roth said, you know what? How about we make the worst movie of the decade instead? But before we rip this movie apart, you know what's worse than the Borderlands movie? Getting 7 spam calls a day about how I won the YouTuber of the Year award. And this happens because when companies like Ticketmaster get hacked and the data of 560 million users becomes available on the dark web, all of a sudden your name, home address, email address, phone number, credit card data, all of it is out there for the galaxy to know. And now these spammers know more about me than my mom, all because I got my girlfriend Taylor Swift tickets. And these big companies aren't exactly helpful at getting the information taken off of the internet, which is why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura is always on, and it alerts me when my data has been part of a data breach or leaked on the dark web, and within seconds of that alert, Aura is already stopping that information from falling into the wrong hands. This also applies to my credit card and bank accounts, so if there's any suspicious larger payments, Aura makes sure to let me know immediately. And my personal favorite part of using their service is the noticeable amount of spam that I no longer get. Like, my phone went from 20 calls a day to nobody hitting me up, which is a great day for me. It's super easy to set up, and I also get things like a VPN, antivirus, a password manager, identity theft insurance, and even though I don't have kids yet, you do get some parental controls, all in one app at one affordable price. And like I said, Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping me safe so I can just focus on making these videos with as much peace of mind as I can get before I get screamed at in the comments section. I value my privacy and I value yours too, so you can go to aura.com/ChaseCesarian to start your 2-week free trial, which is also just one click away if you look in the description of this video. It's been a very eye-opening experience for me, and I hope you get the same peace of mind from using their service that I did. So thank you again to Aura for sponsoring this video, and now let's talk about why Borderlands is the worst movie of the year. And it's almost like anybody involved in making the movie knew how bad it was going to be, because this was shot 3 years ago and is just coming out now. I mean, April 2021, Biden just became president. Kate Blanchett's Tar came out a year and a half after that, and Ariana Greenblatt has been the most annoying part of every movie she's been in since. And this performance did nothing but confirm that for me, because her version of Tiny Tina has got to not only be one of the worst things about this movie, but also one of the worst performances I have seen in almost 10 years. And at first, I wondered if I should bother even ripping child performances apart, but when it's this atrocious, who fucking cares? Tiny Tina was never one of my favorite characters in the Borderlands franchise because I always found her to be slightly annoying, but at the same time, I always understood why other people would have found that character funny. And instead of translating that charming part of the character to the big screen, Eli Roth decided to take everything that annoyed me personally about Tiny Tina and cast the most cringe kid actor in a generation to give the live action version a shot. And it's not just the performance, but it's the material she has to work with here. Like, there's a part where this crew is literally driving through a field of piss and shit, and she puts the window down, and then Kevin Hart is like, come on, roll up the window. And for like 15 seconds, she's like, why do I have to put the window up? And then they all get splashed by alien piss. I wish I had footage from the entire movie to show you how bad some of her delivery delivery gets. But the saddest part of it all is that she's not the only one ruining her career in real time, because Oscar winner Jamie Lee Curtis is also abysmal here. And maybe I'm still a little salty that she won that statue, but the Academy should show up to her house and take it back after this. And you have Jack Black as Claptrap.
Where's the vault? Where's my vault?
I think this is the least worst performance in the movie, and maybe I would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't played the games and knew what the robot was supposed to sound like, but it just sounds like Jack Black. And it's not like we have to get Jack Black in a motion capture suit for this, so why not cast the same fucking guy that voices Claptrap in the games? Oh shit, I guess they didn't even pay him to come back for the third game. Then you have Kevin Hart and Cate Blanchett, an on-screen duo I would have bet my life savings on that we would never see. Yet here we are. I feel like if the rest of the cast was on the same level of celebrity comedian status as Kevin Hart, maybe we would have had a fun Guardians of the Galaxy type movie, but even he has nothing to work with in here. And even though I've never loved any of his movies, I thought he would at least have gotten a smile out of me. And then Cate Blanchett, maybe the best actress alive, somehow got persuaded into doing this. And I've seen some people say she's the only good part. No, she's fucking not. It's just as bad as the rest of these performances. And it just goes to show, if you don't have a good screenplay or a good director that knows how to work with actors, it's hard to make anything else in the movie work. And look, I kind of like Eli Roth. I would never call him a great filmmaker, but I would definitely call him an interesting filmmaker that occasionally makes fun movies. But this is the bottom of the $2 movies at a gas station barrel. And if I made this movie, I probably would have taken a 9-year hiatus before I thought about touching a camera ever again. Because look, I've seen worse movies than this, I think. But this just feels as soulless as it gets. And when you have a budget of $120 million, that's just unacceptable. Sure, it's cool to have a real set with some real costumes, but all of that care gets thrown to the side when you have some of the worst CGI we've seen in years, followed up with some of the most boring action sequences anybody could assemble. I know it's not easy to put together an awesome shootout, but this was so embarrassing that I felt like I owed every Marvel movie I've ever shat on an apology. Because again, this wasn't a $40 million budget. It was $120 million. The creator cost $80 million and looked like this. And Borderlands cost 50% more and looks like a fucking Comic-Con panel. I love movies, I really do. But every once in a while, I see something that gives me such a bad migraine that I go, why do I love sitting through these? I know this was made years ago and we have made progress in moving on from piles of shit that look and feel like this, but even if this movie was supposed to come out back in 2012, it still reaches such great heights of eye-rolling cringe that I think my 15-year-old ass still would have hated it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you as always. This is all of my social media right here, but like I say every single time, Letterboxd is the only one I kind of care about, so be sure to follow me on there to keep up with all of my movie opinions, and be sure to like the video. It helps me out more than you think. I don't get paid much to make these, and just doing that might help me get paid a little bit one day, so it really does mean a lot if you take the time to do that. And if you really like my opinions, be sure to subscribe. We don't just watch the worst movies of all time on this channel, no matter what the budget is, no matter what the genre is. I just like talking about movies on here. I tend to like talking about the good ones more, but sometimes this is just how it goes, and we keep it real around here. So if that's something you're interested in, I'd love for you to join our community over here, and be sure to comment down below so we could actually talk about this movie. Do you think this is the worst video game adaptation out there? I'd really have to think hard about it, but at the same time, I don't think I have to think that hard. This was terrible. But I know back in like the 2000s and even early 2010s, there were some pretty bad ones. So if you think there's one worse than this, I would love to hear what you think. And if you like this video and you want to see more from me, YouTube thinks this video right here, you're really going to enjoy a lot. And then my other one is my most recent video about Deadpool. So if either of those sound interesting to you, I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you just keep sticking around. So this is Chase. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks.